Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ruben from Triumph Triathlon. I'm here with Tony Rich. Tony, how you been?
Been all right, man. Just recuperating from Lake Placid Ironman, but just doing all right.
Good. Cool. So obviously, we're doing this interview so people can get to know more about you,
Right.
and I don't know, just to find out, get into your head a little bit. So how did you even get into the sport of triathlon? What motivates you to do what you do?
Right. Yeah. So with me, I think I started off. I've always been sort of an athletic guy, and I pretty much ran casually after college, and it was probably around 2003 when I ran the marathon, the Boston Marathon, for the first time, and I did it practically on a dare. I knew someone who was doing it, and just said,
Is it dare?
pretty much. It was one of those things where it was like, I bet you can't do X. I was like, I bet you I can do it. And so it was sort of one of those things, and I somehow got an invitational entry back in 2003, and didn't really train a whole lot, but still ended up completing it. And so I think people like me end up.
Did you get hooked after that, pretty much?
Yeah, I got hooked after that. And then after that, it was about, okay, I want to do it again. I want to beat the time. I want to do it better. This time I want to really train properly and do it and see how well I did. And so shortly after that, I said, you know what? This thing out there called an Ironman.
Oh yeah, just this thing, right?
Right. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I bet you I can do one of those. And at the time, I mean, I never really learned how to swim or swim properly. But I decided that I wanted to eventually try to do an Ironman distance. And so shortly after that, I started setting that out as a goal. So
Nice.
from there, the legend was born.
The legend was born. The legend was born. Nice. So, before I even get into further talking about Tony's adventures in the triathlon, we're actually standing in what he calls his war room. So,
The war room.
in the war room, you got the bike here. You can't see it from that angle, but you got all his medals hanging up. It's just awesome. It's just awesome. Anyone who's into the sport of triathlon will appreciate what I'm seeing right here. So for my next question is: did you thank your friend after that?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, he got you into something.
Oh yeah, I mean, I see him all the time now. And then it's funny because when I first started training with him, I remember going out for one of my first long runs.
Yeah.
And I went out there without the proper tire. I had on long sweats. I had on high top basketball shoes. I didn't even have the right attire. But, and then, so now when I see him, I talk to him about, man, that was the first time I went out on a long run, and I went out there with long sweats and high top basketball shoes. And I tried to basically sprint the first mile. And he said, yeah, I remember that. And
Come a long way.
I come a long way, and this was after I had done the first Ironman, and it was, I think back at that time, and I was like, wow, that was in 2003, and it's 2010, and I've done 2 Ironman distances. It's just I can't believe it.
So this is probably something that only someone who has done an Ironman. I'm signed up for an Ironman. I'm really excited for that, and it's probably because of Tony. Tony's just he gets contagious, and seeing what other people can do and saying to yourself, "Wow, I can do that too."
Right.
But how has it changed your life? I mean, you said it's 2003, 7 years. I mean, what has it done?
Yeah.
What has it done? Obviously,
It's done unbelievable things. I think, aside from the physical aspects and the physical benefits,
yeah.
that you're afforded from doing marathons, triathlon, Ironman. I think it's strengthened my value system. I think all of us that even attempt to do an Ironman marathon or even shorter distance triathlons, we sort of live by a similar mantra and a similar code. The mantra that basically anything's possible, you can do anything. There is nothing that is without hard work, and if you put in the hard work, you can accomplish anything. And so that has sort of reinforced all parts of my life, whether it be careers,
Well said.
whether it be other goals that I have in personal life. And so I think me completing some of my athletic endeavors has helped me apply some of those same principles to my working life and personal life.
Would you say that it, because I'm speaking from experience obviously as well, I mean maybe not having done as much as you have, but would you say that you showing yourself that you can do the Ironman or that you can do 2 Ironmans
Right.
proves to yourself that you can maybe handle something that comes up next week that you totally didn't expect, and maybe at work or maybe
Right.
in life.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just like, oh, you know what? I mean, maybe not that it's totally the same, but it's just like, you know what? If I can get through this and I can feel
Exactly.
myself through this, I can do this.
Exactly. I mean, to give you an example, when I decided that I wanted to try to do an Ironman, I didn't really know how to swim. But I said to myself, when it comes time for me to do it, I bet you I can get to the point where I can swim, a mile and a half or 2.5 miles. And so I said, well, I guess I better start.
I guess I better start swimming.
And so, in drawing that to parallels in life, I mean, whether it be career, whether it be other tasks, you put it into perspective and say, well, I know what the path is to get to proficiency in something, and even if I don't know it now, I can put in the work to get there. And so that's what I apply to the rest of my life. And I think anyone that has gone through, for instance, something like the Ironman swim leg, where it's basically a melee, which you'll come accustomed to.
Yeah, you learn all about it.
I often say to myself, whether it be in a working environment or something else, I say to myself, if I can handle that, the stress of that, then other things doesn't seem to be as stressful.
It's the cakewalk.
Exactly. So you
yeah.
apply it, and it's all relative. So I think I constantly refer to the Ironman as a sort of metaphor towards anything that I do.
Got that. Obviously, Triumph Triathlon is geared for a lot of people to motivate them and to get into the sport. We're kind of geared towards people who want to get into it and further advance, their physical, their mental, everything that you just mentioned, right?
Right.
What would you say to people who really just have the roadblock of being like, you know what, I can't do that, that seems too hard, it seems like something nice to do, but like what piece of advice would you give? What would you say to the audience right there looking at us right now?
Well, I would say there are two types of people in life, and I think there are those who say I can't, and then there are those that say I can. And I think most people, when they really dive deep inside themselves, I think most people put them in the category of people that say I can't. And then if that's you, then I believe that you can do an Ironman, or you can do, if it's not that, it's a half Ironman, or maybe it's a sprint distance. Whatever you set out to do, I think you can do it. And just when you think that you can't, you have difficulty achieving or conceiving that you can achieve something, just try to go out online and look at some of the clips of people that are 60 plus years old that are finishing Ironman, that are crossing the finish line in 16, 17 hours. People that have one leg or no legs, and finish Ironman.
Or cancer survivors.
Cancer survivors.
Or blind people.
Blind people.
Blind triathletes. Gosh.
I mean,
Well, yeah, it's just, it's amazing.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I mean, you can realize, really, this really drives home the point when you're in a race and you see someone like that. You see someone with no legs or prosthetic legs. When you see, someone with, carrying their son into a transition, like the Hoyts. I mean, you see some of this, and it's just absolutely amazing. I think anyone that sees something like that would at least feel challenged by saying, I can't do something. I mean, there are people out there that wish that they could have 2 legs.
Right.
That have done an Ironman, and that wish that they were, privileged enough to be able to have, to not have, cerebral palsy or Lou Gehrig's disease. All people that have completed amazing tasks.
Absolutely.
So you can be in that camp that says I can.
That's well said. Well said. And I experienced it myself. It's really you can't really find anything more inspiring. When I especially came to watch you at Lake Placid this past July, someone who you would never think that they'd be able to complete an Ironman, yet you see them crossing and you're like,
well, if they can do it.
Well, if they can do it, you know what? I can do it too. And and that's what Triumph Triathlon's all about. Hope you come visit us at triumphtriathlon.com. You'll be seeing a lot of Tony. Tony's also coaching triathletes too, right?
That's right.
So definitely going to be seeing a lot more of him. And Tony, I appreciate the interview. And man, I'm looking forward to more stuff.
Awesome.
All right, man.
Ironman 2011. Here he comes.
Triumph.